Mission success.
Commander, here's the roster of the latest recruits for the aerial strike team. Sophie, Emily, Jessica, Linda, Megan, and Jana.
Enjoying the materials our outpost has to offer? Even though they're all highly classified, it makes no difference for people like us who exist in hyperspace. They may as well be public knowledge, so I won't bother you about them. But back to more serious matters. You caught my attention. Now let me take a closer look at you.
And you are?
That's right. I haven't properly introduced myself. My name is Antoria, and I'm the commander of the Joint Defense Force's 2nd Legion, as well as the commander of the Temporal Anomaly Response Force. The Federation has ordered us to carry out a military operation codenamed Reshaping Reality within this area of hyperspace. Now it's your turn to introduce yourself. Who are you? Where did you come from? And where are you going?
I'm a researcher from District 4 of Hycros. I came from Kylo, and I guess I'm trying to go back to Kylo?
District 4, huh? You guys are supposedly on the front lines of Omnium tech. So, did you cook up this little breakthrough yourself?
That's right. My mentor, Professor Kenny, is the head of our Space Rift research team. He discovered this technique by accident during one of our experiments.
What a surprise! Even after the Omnium Experimentation Prohibition Act was passed, humanity is still making important strides in the field of Omnium research. While I'm delighted to know we can now enter and exit hyperspace freely, I have to ask, why are you the only one here right now? Where are the rest of your colleagues, including this Professor Kenny?
The tech's still in its early stages, which means we can only send one person through at a time. We're not sure what's causing it yet, but don't worry. When I return, we'll figure it out for sure. Which reminds me, I believe that girl from before can help me with my research. Is there any way I can meet her before I leave?
You want to see her?
Yes, she's actually a close friend of mine.
Great! This is exactly what I needed. I've been looking for a way to send her to the surface layer. With your help, I'm sure we'll figure out how to transport multiple people between the two layers in no time.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Back up a second. How in the world do you know about the surface and foundational layers? And what's this about transporting multiple people between them? You're not from the foundational layer, are you? You're from the real world just like me. I've been looking for you forever, but I never thought you'd be hiding out here.
Finally, some truth comes out. You really did come from outside the network. Now, let's go back to my other questions. Who are you and where are you heading? Trust me, you don't want to be on my bad side. Think very carefully before you answer. What? But I thought we were after the same thing, Nem. Tell me, who is this person and why are you so protective of him? I don't think I'm wasting my time at all. If you're acting so protective, then there's a good chance I found the person I'm looking for. I see. So you're an authorizer. It's pretty rare for someone to establish a cybernetic link. Who sent you? And why? All right, I admit, I misjudged you. Let's start over. I'll go first. My name really is Antoria, and I really am the commander of the 2nd Legion, as well as the Temporal Anomaly Response Force. My duty is to exterminate the void entities that appear in this area, and prevent any further temporal anomalies. I've already teamed up with our mutual friend here 71 times. You can check my combat records if you don't believe me.
Wait, 71 joint operations? Don't tell me. Have you been stuck here all this time?
Yes. It's been so long that I've nearly forgotten. The truth is, I only need to know a few simple things about you, Authorizer. Like your name, your affiliation, your objective, and the current year.
My name is... I was chosen by Hykros to serve as the network's authorizer. My reason for being here is to eliminate the viruses attacking the network, restore its systems to their normal functions, and find a way to awaken my friend Shirley. As for the year, it's 2713. But why do you need to know that?
Hykros. So they're the ones who sent you to restore the network. What happens after that? What will they do with the network once it's been fixed?
Humanity can only continue researching Omnium technology once the network has been fully restored. After the cataclysm, Ida was left in shambles and its people. At the very least, the Omnium advocates believe Omnium is the key to saving our world.
The Omnium advocates? You mean those who think Omnium is the key to humanity's future? So, does that mean you need its power to save Shirley? And those who used Omnium to modify themselves? What did they call themselves again?
You mean the heirs of Ida? My business with them is an entirely different story.
Fine, I'll back off. If you're so trusting of your friend, then I suppose I can too. For now. The question is, are you willing to do the same?
You'll have to do better than that. Convince me.
Take a closer look at the records I just gave you. It won't take long for you to realize that there's no defeating the Void Entity. At least, not for good. But with your ability to freely travel between layers, my plan to wipe out the Void Piercers for good might just work. It all comes down to whether you're in or not.
Okay, let's hear your plan then.
I'm not about to lay all my cards on the table. If you really want to know more, take this back to the surface layer and give it to Kieran, the head of the Federation. Tell him it's time to restart the gate to hyperspace. If I told you everything now, it'd only confuse you. Kieran will explain when you meet him. Until then, just do as I say and nothing bad will happen to you.
Even if you're being honest, how am I supposed to get Kieran to trust me? I've heard he's a shrewd and powerful figure.
That's why I'm giving you this badge. All you have to do is show it to him, and he'll support you with whatever resources he can muster.
And what's in it for you?
My mission, of course. Once the Void Entities are gone for good, my soldiers and I can finally leave this place. But without your help, our forces are doomed to fight this endless battle until every last one of us falls.
Fine. I'll trust you. For now.
We're counting on you, Authorizer. If someone out there is trying to interfere with your mission, then let me offer you a piece of friendly advice. Trust no one. Especially anyone from outside the network.
Brilliant. Just brilliant. Excellent work, everyone. Once this is over, I'll be sure to settle the remaining 500,000 Norn for your outstanding performance. Now
Now it's time for you to meet your maker.
I'll whack him good! Then you can flatten him with your bite, boss.
do what you will to me, but have you forgotten about Aglia?
So, you fooled your teammates into thinking Wednesday kidnapped you, right? Perfect. That means we can use you as a bargaining chip to trade for Grey Fox once we find your father.
Fine by me, but my father doesn't take threats lightly. Even if you do manage to pull it off, the Todd family and the entire Federation will be after you. Think that's a good idea?
If it comes to that, we'll just escape to...
Go ahead. Take your time daydreaming about where you could run. Whether it's Mara, another planet, or an entirely different universe altogether. It won't make any difference. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must call my father.
Greetings, sir. Your father is reading through your message as we speak. One moment, please.
Message? You aren't planning to go straight to Kieran with this, are you?
Of course I am. I paid triple the price to modify this hidden chamber just in time for the plan. Given your excellent performance, It looks like my money was well spent after all.
Consider yourself fortunate, Asurada. With the recent spike in aberrant activity, the contents of this recording are exactly what Kiran needs right now. But before dealing with someone like him, you must take every possible precaution imaginable. I raised you to be my heir, so I understand your chances of success better than anyone. But what's your plan for afterward?
What's the matter? Worried that Kiran will change her mind? Because I hardly think the Secretary General is that type of person. Or do you find it amusing that I'm betting on the morality of a person in power at a crucial moment like this?
I've arranged for a helicopter. Once Kiran agrees to your plan, I'll have my people escort Aglaia straight to Kylo. Recent changes there will put Aglaia out of her reach. We've poured a lot of resources into that area, and they've promised their top specialists will look after her. Aglaia won't be completely safe until peace is fully restored, but this will suffice for now.
Understood. Then is it safe to assume Aglaia is still somewhere in Astra? Even after putting her under house arrest, I doubt you would force your beloved daughter to travel all the way to Odorich just for your sake. I'm already in Asperia, so I can arrange for our own transportation and security. Just give me the address, and I'll send my people there right away.
Very well, but just so we're clear, you know what to do with Wednesday if Kiran refuses to pardon them, yes?
Of course, if it comes to that, I'll get it done quickly and quietly. They won't even know what hit them.
There's no trusting you, Asurada Todd. Especially when you keep mixing lies into the truth like that. It's one of the worst tendencies a person could have.
I assure you, no one will come to any harm now that I have this footage. However, I still need you to come with me to the Tower of Fantasy and meet with Kiran.
If it means saving Grey Fox and getting the Federation off our backs, I'll do whatever it takes. But I'm the only one who needs to be there, Asurada. If Kiran asked for Anka and Nola to show up, I need you to help me to convince him otherwise.
I agree. This visit to the Tower of Fantasy is dangerous enough without them. Besides, I've always meant it when I said I have no intention of harming my sister's friends. Miss Nola, Miss Anka, this is the address my father provided. The helicopter is standing by. You can head out to find Aglaia now. After you get her, fly straight to Kylo. My father's associates will ensure her safety, and the rest of you will be far better off in Kylo as well.
And if Kiran refuses to make a deal? Your father made it clear that Grey Fox stays locked up unless you succeed. And what about us?
If we fail, you'll have no choice but to infiltrate a heavily fortified villa and rescue my sister from isolation and potentially life-threatening danger. But that shouldn't be a problem for the likes of you, right?
Do you even have to ask? We're professionals. Although, you did say your family and the entire Federation would come after us if it came to that, didn't you?
If it comes to that, I'll have no choice but to take on Kiran myself. But rest assured, minor thieves like you will be the least of her concerns.
But according to Merrill, the Todd family is known for maximizing their gains while never getting their hands dirty. Cutting ties with them doesn't seem like something you'd do.
Miss Merrill seems quite familiar with my father's style, but I assure you that he and I aren't entirely the same. In fact, it's somewhat condescending of you to compare me to him so callously.
We're here, researcher! Look who it is!
Gray Fox? What are you doing here? What happened to taking the helicopter over to Kylo?
We thought Asurada was up to no good again, so the boss and I busted Gray Fox out of there as soon as we arrived.
Anka, that's not what we agreed on. The Tower of Fantasy is far from safe. And now you...
What are you blaming me for? The boss and I planned on taking Gray Fox someplace safe with the helicopter and waiting for you to contact us, but
I believe my brother's plan was too risky and insisted on coming straight here to prevent you from falling into the Federation's hands.
What's the matter, Aglia? Don't you trust me?
Oh, I trust you well enough. I trusted that you would use my friends to find me at any cost, and that you'll use the researcher to further the Todd family's interests. What I don't trust, however, is that you would defy Father so easily.
It was never my intention to harm any of Wednesday's members. I was simply giving them a bit of encouragement. That's all. And besides, how else was I supposed to make the researcher demonstrate such an extraordinary ability without applying a little pressure?
What if you were wrong? What if they can't cure the aberrants? How could anyone survive against so many aberrants without that power?
Then the Federation prison I trapped them in would have been the safest place for them to hide. I would have told Father that all of Wednesday had been turned into aberrants, and that I wiped out every last one of them. It would have been just like how I orchestrated your rescue. Except this time, you'd have to set them up with new identities good enough to fool him.
Then that's exactly what we'll do starting right now. The researcher is a member of Wednesday, and I won't let you lead our friend right into the Secretary General's waiting arms.
Listen to me, Aglia. If this was as simple as Wednesday provoking the Federation, I would have countless ways to defuse the situation and protect all of you. But do you even understand why I'm taking such extreme measures? The danger posed by the aberrants is far worse than anything you might have seen in File 049. I don't know how this so-called researcher cures the aberrants, and I don't care to know. But because your friend is capable of doing something like this, Kieran has a right to know about it. This transcends any political or family interests.
You'll need a much better reason than that if you want to convince me, Asurada.
Aglia, please. The researcher's unique power could secure not just Wednesday's safety, but also save countless others. Perhaps even all of Ida. I'm not at liberty to discuss any further details of my plan, but a genius like you should have no trouble figuring out the rest. So please, Aglia, just trust in me for today, and I promise everything will be made clear afterwards.
I can tell you're telling the truth, but your attitude of knowing it all without explaining is just like Father's, and it really annoys me. Fine. We'll be waiting for you back at the tavern, but if you don't show up, you're toast.
You have a really funny way of wishing people good luck. You know that?
Good day, everyone. My name is Yang, and I'm Secretary General Kieran's personal assistant. The Secretary General is ready to meet with you, Mr. Asurada. Please come with me.
Looks like it's time for your big meeting. We'll just leave the rest up to you two.
Actually, Secretary General Kieran specifically requested to meet with all four of you. This way, please.
Hey, boss. Should we come up with an excuse to get out of here?
What's gotten into you, Anka? You're normally fearless to a fault.
Yeah, but there's nothing normal about the Asperia Tower of Fantasy, don't you think? This place is worse than 10 public security bureaus combined. It's like dealing with an entire army of Merrills.
Don't get carried away, Anka. An agent of Meryl's caliber is rare, even within the Federation. And they'd be lucky to have someone with even a fraction of her talent on their side. Besides, I trained you myself, so you have no—
But we were only supposed to grab the researcher and fly out of here. Now we're suddenly stuck in the Tower of Fantasy. It's like we're sitting ducks in a lion's den.
Or maybe a lamb thrown to the wolves?
That's enough, Gray Fox. Anka's clearly scared, so you shouldn't make fun of her.
Miss Yang, here are the documents for the meeting 2 days from now. After the last meeting, Secretary General Kieran asked me to have you review and summarize their contents before handing them over to her.
2 days from now? Let me see. These are for the meeting regarding the network's smart city, aren't they? Make 4 copies, send 2 to my office, and deliver the other 2 to the Smart City Control Department. Make them single-sided, numbered, and clipped, not stapled.
Understood.
Meeting set for the afternoon 2 days from now. I'll need those files on my desk before 10 tomorrow morning. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Secretary General Kieran's office is at the end of this hallway. He's been anticipating your arrival. In the meantime, the rest of you can follow me to my office for tea and refreshments.
So, where are the tea and refreshments?
Right this way. If you'd be so kind as to step inside.
Inside what? Your custody?
Well, that's a luxury compared to prison, wouldn't you agree? Unless, of course, you'd prefer a stay in our high-security facility 20 meters below the tower. By all means.
So, you want us to surrender just like that?
Of course not. But our only advantage right now is Gray Fox. Aside from us and Asarada, no one here knows that Aglia and Gray Fox are the same person.
Even if we are detained, they wouldn't stop a Todd from playing games, right? While you two are in there, I'll find out what's really going on here, including what you and my brother are hiding.
If things go south in our meeting, we'll find a way to let you know. 3 against 1 is way better odds than taking on a whole crew right now.
Man, you guys and your big brains. It's a good thing we're buddies, 'cause I can't keep up with all this overthinking stuff.
I'm grateful for the opportunity to see you again, Secretary General Kieran. I've been meaning to visit ever since our family's last dinner party, but it's hard to impose on such a busy person.
I take it you're the Kylo researcher who cured the aberrants in the video?
Yes.
Forgive me, Secretary General. I should have known to dispense with the pleasantries. Allow me to get straight to the point. When I sent you that video footage, I mentioned a certain deal.
The answer is no, Asarada Todd. Team X was established to prevent the leak of File 049's contents, not to waste my time over the protection of some petty thieves. But you did bring this researcher here. I'll give you that much.
Are you aware that our friend here is also a member of Wednesday? If you fail to rescind the order for their arrest, I doubt the researcher would be willing to tell you everything you want to know.
Kylo researchers, you never cease to surprise me. Tell me, what will it take for you to share the secrets of your aberrant curing technique with me? Perhaps a bit more hospitality?
Something tells me your idea of hospitality doesn't include steak dinners or fancy hotel rooms.
You're quite the talker, aren't you?
There's no need to continue this charade, Secretary General. That bottle of sleeping pills on your desk has all but given you away. And judging from the size of the bottle, it appears your prescription is even stronger than my own. Do be careful, as I've been told the elderly are not meant to take too much of these. I can empathize with your situation. However, with the aberrants appearing more frequently and in greater numbers, and with Kylo up to their usual unspeakable schemes, do you really have the time or energy to show our friend this hospitality of yours?
No matter what you say, I simply can't let them go. The best I can offer is to keep them detained in the Tower of Fantasy until the situation is resolved. Then, we'll reconsider their fate.
Like you, Secretary General, I hate wasting time haggling, but I am determined to secure a pardon for Wednesday, and I won't stop until I get it. If you turn me away now, I'll have no choice but to add to your already sizable list of woes. You'll be so busy that a couple of file-stealing miscreants will be the least of your worries.
And how exactly are you gonna do that?
Well, I could always start by uploading that footage onto Echo for the world to see. I can already see the top story now. A mountain of corpses appears. Omnium experiments believed to be at fault.
You'd pit the Todds against the Federation for some petty thieves? I knew it. You wouldn't be that reckless without good reason. Fancy that. Wednesday's genius hacker, the mysterious Gray Fox, is your very own sister, Aglia Todd. I believe we also met each other at your family's last dinner party, yes?
You'd better take that back. I'll have you sued for slander against my sister.
Good luck to the Todd lawyers, then. I've just received evidence of a cyber attack on the Tower of Fantasy. The security system detected a droid at the tower's entrance. Tracing the signal, we found it being controlled from within the tower, specifically from this very floor.
Enough! Secretary General. Perhaps we should start over, Secretary General. I believe...
Secretary General Kieran, may I speak for a moment? We were hesitant to believe Asarada as well, but I can assure you that his only two concerns are protecting his sister and helping you fend off the temporal anomalies. That's why I think you should accept his conditions and grant Wednesday a pardon. If you're willing to trust Antoria, then I ask that you do the same for me. So please, grant us our pardon and let them go, and I'll tell you everything I know.
That's... Yang, come to my office.
Yes, sir.
I had no idea you were holding such a powerful trump card. Were you holding on to it all this time just to watch me suffer? I nearly went to war with the entire Federation just now. If you don't wish to tell me more, then so be it. Since it's clear I'm no longer needed in this room, I'm going to escort Aglia and the others out of the tower and to a safe place. If you'll excuse me.
Tell me, when did you get this badge?
Just today. When I disappeared in the video Asarada sent you earlier, that was me entering hyperspace. That was when I encountered a Void Piercer, as well as Antoria. She told me to show you this badge, and said it would convince you to help me.
To be honest, I'm surprised she gave it to you. Did she say anything else at the time?
She did. She wants you to restart the gate into hyperspace so that she can complete her mission.
Restart the gate? Could the situation have changed that much? During the first regression, I witnessed the opening of the gate with my own two eyes. At the time, humanity had just discovered the existence of hyperspace, as well as the ability to reshape our own reality through this exciting new world. The possibilities were endless, and we felt like gods who had awakened to their true potential.
Is hyperspace really that powerful?
Yes, and that was also when I designed this badge. The comet Mara was passing over Ida at the time, as though implying that it had guided humanity to an even higher plane of existence. I was convinced that Norns would be the one to lead us into the future, which is why I gave it the name Norns of the Future.
So, why did Antoria have this badge?
Because humanity misunderstood Mara's gift to us. Humanity's exploration of Omnium eventually caught the attention of the Void entities, powerful predators that hide within the fabric of space-time. They invaded Ida's hyperspace. What happened after that? Well, you've already seen it all, haven't you?
So you're saying the real world started to suffer only after the Void Piercers appeared? And that the aberrants were a consequence of these temporal anomalies?
If left unchecked, the Void entities would have turned everyone into aberrants, and Ida would have become a living hell. For that reason, Antoria and her soldiers entered hyperspace to engage them in battle. I gave this badge to Antoria before she left, the one and only of its kind. She swore she would complete her mission at all costs, but her hands were trembling uncontrollably the entire time. She said one last thing to me before she stepped through the gate. If someone comes to you with this badge in hand, I need you to trust them and help them with all your strength. Treat them as you would treat me. It seems that person is none other than you. And since you've already met Antoria, you must know by now that no matter how many soldiers we send into hyperspace, we can never truly exterminate the Void entities.
If that's so, why are Antoria and her team still battling the Void Piercers in hyperspace? Aren't there other solutions for handling these temporal anomalies?
It appears Wednesday really didn't look into File 049 after all. If you had, you would know that the answer can be found within. The Reality Reshaping Program. Faced with the Void entities, an undefeatable enemy, the Norns Federation poured all of its resources into executing this three-phase plan. Phase 1 was, if reality is the calm surface of a lake, then every Omnium experiment conducted by humanity is a stone cast into that lake. Agitated by the ripples in the water, the creatures living in its depths approach the surface and create an even bigger disturbance. Their violent thrashing eventually begins splashing water on the people casting stones into the lake.
So you're saying that Omnium experiments are what attract the Void Piercers to an area, and in turn they infect everyone within a certain range? That's why the Federation passed the Omnium Experimentation Prohibition Act.
Unfortunately, due to Omnium Technology's immense market potential, companies like Shooter Electronics and Aurora Industries continued conducting illegal experiments. When a temporal anomaly appeared within Shooter Electronics' Ring Lab, it was because they illegally tampered with the Omnium Reactor's regulating program. Omnium research is inextricably tied to Omnium reactors. Whenever one of them is activated, it casts another stone into the lake, so to speak. The point where that stone enters the lake is known as a space-time singularity by Hykros.
But not all Omnium experiments result in aberrations, right? Back in Aurora Industries, I watched an Omnium reactor's activation with my own eyes, but I didn't see any aberrants afterward.
That's most likely because Antoria is diligently carrying out her mission, which is Phase 2 of the Reality Reshaping Program, Restraint. The simplest way to calm the water's surface is to get rid of the creatures that arise from its depths. Antoria and the Temporal Anomaly Response Force are like a fishing boat out to capture them. They track the movements of void entities from within hyperspace. When they detect a large gathering, Antoria and her soldiers rush to the area and annihilate them, thus preventing aberrants from appearing in our world. Then, with the power of the Reshaping Tower, we can augment reality in a direction that is not influenced by the void entities. This allows us to alter the boundaries of affected areas and slow the spread of temporal anomalies. As for living creatures that have already become aberrants, in order to prevent them from exacerbating the situation, we use several underground areas to monitor and contain them. If the corresponding area can be reshaped, then the aberrants can return to normal as well.
Oh, I see.
Antoria's mission was never to eradicate the void entities, but to prevent their proliferation and the subsequent collapse of human society. The Reshaping Tower's effective range is limited, and the battle in hyperspace is not meant to last forever. The restraint phase's true purpose is to buy enough time for the third and final phase, restore. Ever since Antoria entered hyperspace to battle with the Void Piercers, the Federation has been accumulating the strength and resources needed to launch a second global time retracement, aiming to revert all of Ida to a time before the temporal anomalies. If we succeed, the surface of the lake will become peaceful once more, and humanity will have completely averted the catastrophe caused by the temporal anomalies. But the date we've chosen for turning back time is still far away. But now that you've appeared with Antoria's badge, it means she must have discovered something so important that we need to accelerate our plans. Cat got your tongue? Getting cold feet?
No, Secretary General, but I'm definitely worried. Given the failure of the first regression, have you considered how catastrophic it would be if we failed a second time?
To be honest, it's impossible for us to imagine the consequences of a second failure at this time. The first regression was just a single, small-scale experiment. It hardly compares to a time retracement that will affect the entire planet. But one thing I can tell you is that with the help of artificial intelligence, the Federation has conducted an almost immeasurable number of experimental simulations. The reality reshaping program is the only option with a success rate greater than 0.
So, when are you planning to go public with this information? Almost no one on Ida knows about the temporal anomalies, much less that the Federation is planning such a massive operation that will affect everyone's lives.
Sharing this information with the rest of Ida would only cause even more panic, which would disturb our social order. If that were to happen, the Federation wouldn't be able to amass the strength it needs to execute the reality reshaping program. For this reason, I need to keep everything secret for the time being. You're entirely correct that this course of action will result in the loss of many innocent lives. But unless I do things this way, every single person on Ida will be turned into an aberrant. The temporal anomalies cannot be seen as ordinary natural disasters or scientific mishaps that require divulgence to the public. The fate of every living being in our world is at stake. I'll do whatever it takes to succeed, even if it means being described as a villain or a dictator in the pages of history. By asserting full control over every media and information outlet, I can ensure that no mention of the temporal anomalies makes it to the public. By disseminating and promoting Blue Ida's ideology, I was able to enact the Omnium Experimentation Prohibition Act. Through various threats and incentives, I persuaded several of Ida's wealthiest families to contribute to the reality reshaping program.
Aren't you worried that your plan might go awry? If even one word of this gets out, the society you've worked so hard to stabilize will collapse.
Precisely. It seems you finally understand the gravity of my position, as well as my reason for pursuing Wednesday so relentlessly.
Despite everything you've done, what if the next time retracement fails?
Then it only proves that fate is no longer on humanity's side. I have another meeting to attend shortly. Once it's over, I'll begin the necessary preparations for restarting the gate to hyperspace, but it's going to take some time. Since you have this badge, you will now participate in the reality reshaping program as a special commissioner. I will assign Federal Agent Claudia to assist you. Reactivating the gate is no simple task, so please be patient.
I nearly forgot about something, Secretary General.
Are you talking about the order for Wednesday's arrest? Don't worry. I'll be sure to cancel it.
No, it's actually about another member of Wednesday. Her name is Nola, and it's possible that she was part of a secret defense force squad in the past. But for several reasons, she has lost her memory. I was wondering if I could access her information to help her regain her memory.
A defense force soldier named Nola. I'll have Yang look into it. Just a moment. Yang tells me that the person in this file's photographs is none other than Nola. However, as this file is classified, I can only provide you with an edited copy.
Phantom just sent us a new message. It's a picture of Wednesday's official pardon, signed by Kieran himself. Looks like we're really in the clear now. With our friend back and our crimes cleared, Wednesday's finally ready to start a brand new chapter. You couldn't ask for a more perfect ending.
It's good to have you back, Gray Fox. Anka was so worried about you while you were gone that she could barely work. She broke more of my cups than usual, too.
Why do you have to tell her that as soon as she gets back, Mr. Baggus? And for the record, I wasn't that worried. My hands kept slipping because I was thinking of all the ways I could rescue her. That's all.
You mean you were thinking of ways to save me from Lucius's secret prison? The boss told me everything, and judging from your expression, it appears to be the truth.
How was I supposed to know the kidnapper was your own father and not Lucius? You never see that sort of plot twist these days. Not even in TV dramas.
Oh, good work, Ace. Thanks for worrying about me, and for keeping everyone's morale up with your optimism. I expected nothing less from Ida's most legendary thief.
Oh, Gray Fox. It's so nice to have you back.
Ugh, hey! Don't wipe your nose on my dress. It's tailor-made, you know.
That's not gonna stop me from hugging you. Besides, you can always buy another one with the 500,000 Norn your brother paid us. You're entitled to your share too.
Wasn't it supposed to be 1 million?
Phantom did say he would pay us the remaining half, but I told him that rescuing you was our own mission, not a job for money. So...
Oh, come on! You're pulling that Robin Hood act in front of my brother? Seriously? He's rolling in dirty money, more than he could ever spend. And you actually turned down his offer? What were you thinking? Ugh, forget it. I'll think of another way to get back at him later. The boss told me about you too, researcher. She said you stormed a hospital and even kidnapped Lucius from the Public Security Bureau, all for my sake. Go ahead, tell me what you need.
Well, it's best if we discuss this in private.
Hey, Mr. Baggus, you said I broke more of your cups than usual, right? Now that Gray Fox is back and I have some money in pocket, let me cover the damages.
By the gods, I never thought this day would come. And since your last job paid you so well, why don't we throw in all of the cups you've broken since you got here? Every last one.
But I'll be broke again if we do that, Mr. Baggus. And besides, Rosalind invited me out to eat after work. If I showed up late because I was stuck here counting cups all day, she'd get so mad.
I received a communication a while ago. At first, I thought it was from a colleague at Hykros. But when I met her, I realized that someone had faked her voice.
You seriously fell for such a cheap trick? The Public Security Bureau has a whole list of tips for avoiding scams, so you might want to try reading through some of them. Just tell me how much they stole from you, and I'll pay you back for it.
They didn't take any money from me. But the trouble they made for me is still just as bad, if not worse. That's why I need your help finding this person.
Sounds simple enough. Hand me your terminal and I'll copy the data from that false communication. Once I find something, I'll let you know.
Thank you.
Don't thank me just yet, especially since my help doesn't come for free. In exchange for locating your mystery person, you're going to tell me everything you know about the aberrants in File 049.
But I thought you accessed the Federation's network when we were back at the Tower of Fantasy.
Ugh, don't remind me. I sorely underestimated their network defenses, so not only did I fail to access anything, I nearly got discovered by someone named Gesthos within the system. Whoever it is, I swear I'll have my revenge someday.
Hey, Nola. I have a present for you.
Is this a Defense Force file? Wait, that's me in the picture.
I got this from the Tower of Fantasy. According to the file, you were definitely a past member of the Defense Force, and you were assigned to a top-secret mission.
Thank you for all your help, researcher. It's just, even after seeing this file, I still don't remember any of it.
Don't lose hope, Nola. This file is just a record of your presence within the Defense Force. Even though there's a background check included, it only assesses your capability for taking on top-secret missions. How could a single file possibly contain everything there is to know about you? Retrieving your memories is going to be a long process, so give yourself some grace.
You have a point. In any case, thanks for bringing me this file.
With the sudden increase in miracles, the Federation has finally been stretched to its limits. More and more people are beginning to suspect that the Federation is hiding something from them.
Praise our Lord for blessing us with these miracles, for our faithful have only grown in number because of them.
Let it be known that these miracles are not gifts, but undeniable signs of his fury. Our Lord will no longer tolerate humanity's meddling with Omnium, which is why we must halt any and all experiments at once. Tell us, soldier, have you found the object left behind by Antoria before she entered hyperspace?
Not yet, but I have several promising leads to investigate. I just need a bit more time.
There is no time left, warrior. The gate to our Lord's domain is about to open ahead of schedule. If we can't find the object, we will have to take a risk. To ensure the plan's success, we need more followers.
When you people are recruiting your followers, could you stop mentioning shooter electronics to them so much? All they do is sit outside of our buildings chanting, "Make Ada blue again." It's never wise to keep biting the hand that feeds you, remember that.
The shooter ring lab was shut down by Secretary General Kieran long ago, so it's not like you're conducting any Omnium research on the premises. At most, those protesters are just crowding your doorway now.
I don't need to hear it from you. I asked you to help me block Merrill's report and buy me some time to fix things, but did you listen? No. You just left me out to dry.
That wasn't the scholar's fault. Your request made it too easy for her to expose you. If you had properly controlled the Omnium reactor as I said, nothing would have happened at Shooter Ring Lab. Your mistake has severely impeded our research of T5. If we don't finish T5's development before they reactivate the gate, the Lord's wrath will consume every single person on Ada.
Enough! It's only because the Federation accelerated their plans that we have to come up with a new solution.
The monk is right. That's why I gathered you all here today. Alchemist, sage, you must halt your research and destroy all evidence of it.
How's this my problem? They can't track me down in the Tower of Fantasy. Unless... Wait a sec. That's impossible. You can't just hand out authorizer badges like candy.
It's true, Sage. Your assumption has come to pass, which is why you must be ready.
Our plan must undergo drastic changes if we are to overcome these challenges. I will continue waiting for our Lord's orders, but until then, you must all maintain the utmost discretion. When all preparations are complete, I will contact you.
Understood.
I'm sorry, but the tavern isn't... Ah, hello, researcher. Would you care for a drink? Hey, you're still one of them, right? Miss Roslin has agreed to keep Anka out of prison, but only if she performs 10 hours of community service every single day. As busy as she is now, she rarely visits the tavern. As for Nola, she mentioned going to some sort of Defense Force Veterans Center in Asperia to search for her missing memories. I wish her the best of luck. Gray Fox. Honestly, I'm not sure what's going on with her. Since she returned with Anka and Nola, she's been holed up in the secret room, only texting me when she needs food or drink. Then it's up to you to talk some sense into her. I don't mind keeping her here, but even if she's run away from home, she should still maintain a healthy routine and stay active. Look, she's asking for another cola. Could you take it to her? With Anka gone and no new servers hired yet, I've been swamped managing everything myself.
Tell the old man he's got two choices. Let me stay in Asperia, or send me back to Kylo in a body bag. You're my brother, aren't you? Why are you speaking for him all of a sudden? You know, he forced me out of school just to punish me, and hired a bunch of private tutors to watch over me at home. Because of him, I lost all my friends. And now he wants to pull the same old trick and force me out of Wednesday? He's got some nerve bringing up Mother. Just tell him to keep his nose out of my business! Hey, Odie, quit bugging me! I said stop! Researcher? Asurada won't stop spamming me with texts, and it's driving me insane. Here, Odie, you deal with him.
Greetings, researcher. I am OD-777, Gray Fox's personal AI assistant. Based on the communication records you provided, my master identified the other party's account. The usage history is spotless, suggesting it's one of those mass-produced accounts for untraceable darknet deals. Aside from contacting you, the account was used to access the video chat room one other time. Unfortunately, the chat room was encrypted by a private server and was destroyed almost immediately after my master infiltrated it. We can now confirm that both the account and the chat room are tied to Blue Planet. This also explains why their security is more advanced than typical darknet users.
I'm sure you've heard about Blue Ida's guiding principles by now, right? About their complete opposition to Omnium research and technology? Blue Planet is the organization that lurks in the shadows, deceiving the unsuspecting with Blue Ida's propaganda, growing its influence to what it is today. That's not necessarily true. Ever since you arrived in Asperia, both Aurora Industries and Shooter Electronics have had their laboratories completely shut down. I would wager that they see you as an enemy now. If your company is in the middle of important Omnium research, wouldn't it benefit you to use Blue Ida's ideology against your competition? Despite the countless protesters waving Blue Ida signs, only a select few can join Blue Planet. Those who pass Blue Planet's rigorous selection process are anything but ordinary. I'm telling you this because Blue Planet has done a lot of business with the old man. I once hacked into his company's network to snoop and found plenty of files just to make trouble for him. This time, I dug through the company's files to help you out. Unfortunately, they've kept their transactions anonymous and created tons of untraceable accounts, making it hard to track. Not only that, but they've been laying even lower than usual lately. The Blue Planet accounts I know of haven't been accessing the network even a 20th as much as before. He's not worth worrying about. Just blacklist him. Anyway, the tavern isn't safe for us anymore, so let's go to your place for now. That way I can share my latest discoveries with you right away. You're going to walk right up to the door? Just like that? Are you underestimating me? I've been sick of these manipulative jerks for ages, so I wouldn't mind paying them a visit. Besides, I trust your skills to handle things. Why are you standing there? Let's go already! I used an account named Musica to reach out to one of Blue Ida's protest organizers. Use that name to make contact with him. If anyone asks about me, just tell them that I'm your sister. From what I can tell, new members are put through an orientation session before every protest. Blue Planet's headquarters is hidden somewhere within that training site. It's simple. Omnium threatens our world. Make Ida blue again. Oh, and before I forget, you're supposed to be a laid-off worker with a deep hatred for Omnium, so make sure to act the part. Dewey?
Yes, and who are you? Oh, so you're Musica. Then this droid must be...
Greetings. I am OD777, a minor caregiver smart servant, or ODI for short.
So there are smart servants like that too, huh? Guess you learn something every day. By the way, if your sister's underage, she'll need parental consent to take part in any of our demonstrations. Ah, I understand. Making a living is tough. Let's just go through the motions for now. Omnium threatens our world. What's up with her? That makes sense, I suppose. After all, she looks a little too old for a caregiver-type smart servant like this. Sorry if I offended you, kiddo. All right, let's get back to business. In a few days, we'll organize a major protest. We'll inform you of the exact time and place later. Today, we'll start with some basic training on Blue Aida's history and ideology. You'll also need to memorize more of our slogans to help ensure our protests run smoothly. Come with me, and I'll show you to our study hall, where you can better acquaint yourselves with our materials. I'm just dropping off a couple of fresh recruits.
Not bad, Dewey. I'll be surprised if your recruitment numbers aren't the highest for this month.
Just goes to show that hard work always pays off. I'm close to getting that promotion this quarter, so I have to keep it up.
Best of luck with that. All right, let's get the formalities out of the way. Omnium threatens our world. That's the spirit, newbie. I don't think I've ever heard a new recruit shout louder than that before training. You're gonna go places, I'm sure of it. On the other hand, this little girl's manners could use some work. Don't you know you're supposed to greet people when you first meet them?
Hey, the kid's mute, but she can read lips just fine.
I see. Sorry about that, dear.
All right, let's go inside. We'll start by going over Blue Ida's history and core ideologies. In 2660, the great philosopher Moritz Erat first proposed the concept of Blue Ida in order to prevent humanity from repeating the same mistakes that doomed our homeworld. Mr. Erat once said, "Omnium is not the key to humanity's progress, but to the gates of hell itself. We must always remain vigilant, for virtue is what will truly lead our species forward." Sadly, those greedy Federation politicians failed to recognize the importance of Blue Ida's philosophy. They were too focused on using Omnium development to pad their political achievements. In response, Mr. Erat dedicated a large portion of his wealth to organizing public protests against their actions. As more people accepted Blue Ida's ideology, humanity's eyes began to slowly open to the truth. Under Mr. Erat's relentless push, the Federation had no choice but to heed the people's voice and enacted, drumroll please, the Omnium Experimentation Prohibition Act in 2661. Indeed, Mr. Moritz's greatest wish in life was to see every Tower of Fantasy toppled and to eradicate every trace of Omnium technology from Ida. But despite the legislature's passing, its implementation was met with constant opposition. Which means we still have a long way to go. Now you're thinking like one of us. Now allow me to share with you my latest strategy for climbing through the ranks. First, we'll leverage our two key value propositions, the anti-shooter electronics and anti-tower initiatives, as our strategic touchpoints. This will help us optimize Blue Ida's next-gen ideological matrix through granular engagement metrics on the Echo ecosystem. Whoops, I must have lost track of the time. I have some other business to attend to, so I'll leave you to study on your own. I should be back in an hour to test your knowledge, so take plenty of good notes.
Oh, thank goodness he's finally done talking. I've already taken a look at these materials, and they're more or less the same as what you just heard. Nothing out of the ordinary here. I also checked out the computer just now, and found some pretty interesting files once I cracked through their security. Take a look if you want. The materials are all mostly the same? It looks like that door over there is locked. Let's go see if we can open it. Ugh, this kind of thing is such a waste of my life. Ugh, an access card and a password? Looks like we'll have to check out room 105 first. Simple. I have a basic hacking software on my terminal. Just boot it up and wait for it to access the local network. Loading complete. Now we can see every electronic device capable of accessing the network from within the room. All I have to do is select a device to hack, and the software will get to work. Let's take a look at today's temporary pass applicants. 9:13 a.m. Clark and Lauren, employee, temporary pass. Access code 339571. Now let's see his pass usage. There! He's in the break room on the other side of the lobby. But there's nothing for us to hide behind in there. Getting his temporary pass won't be easy.
Huh? What's going on? Is this thing broken?
If everything went right, he should be knocked out on the floor. We should have no trouble taking his temporary pass now. Got it. It wasn't easy, but at least we pulled it off.
Who are you two? Why haven't I seen you before?
I suppose Mr. Erot did send out that email a while back. Something about Blue Planet's higher-ranking members being able to recommend new recruits.
Still, there's something suspicious about you two. Let me ask you something. Who is Blue Planet's revered founder and leader? Good answer. I'm still on patrol duty, so I'll leave you be for now. Best of luck, new guys.
What should we do, researcher?
Keep your hands where I can see them, and turn around to face me. Researcher? What are you doing here? You know me?
Wait, do you know each other, or not?
Greetings, researcher. It appears Secretary General Kieran has already informed you about me. For the duration of your mission, I have been assigned to protect and support you as needed.
Protect and assist the researcher? That's an interesting way to describe spying, to say the least.
You still haven't answered my question. What are you two doing here in the first place? Secretary General Kieran narrowly escaped a meticulously planned attempt on his life. All evidence points to Blue Planet's involvement, prompting the Federation to unleash an unprecedented purge of the organization's networks. During the purge, we discovered a number of clues that pointed to this facility, so I came to investigate things myself. However, I didn't expect them to be connected to the Secretary's plans. Something's definitely off about this organization. Since we're both here, why don't we continue our investigations together? You'll be safer this way as well.
Kieran's plan? You mean that reshaping reality plan?
How do you know about it?
When we were at the Tower of Fantasy last time, their network security personnel caught me when I tried to access something called the Reality Reshaping Program. So, what kind of plan is this? Hardly. Nothing in this world is beyond the scope of my skills. Besides, joining the Federation and going along with Kieran's plan isn't something a hacker like me would ever do.
Wait, the researcher called you Gray Fox, and you've been to the Tower of Fantasy. Are you the elusive hacker from Wednesday?
Guess you're not entirely hopeless.
So that girl plugged into her phone. That was you? Miss Gray Fox, are you playing games with a Federation agent?
I should have known an agent of the Federation would be a little more cunning than the researcher.
Why do you keep using a droid to talk to me? Am I that frightening to you? So who exactly are you, Miss Gray Fox? Even though Wednesday was high on the Federation's most wanted list, we know very little about you and your true identity.
Wednesday's arrest order has already been cancelled. Who I am is none of your concern.
A mysterious hacker who refuses to share any details about herself. In my experience, someone like this makes for a terrible teammate. If you and the Secretary General trust her so much, then I suppose I can do the same. I'll set my suspicions aside so we can plan out our next move.
You finally said something useful for once. For a second, I thought you had forgotten your whole reason for being here. I didn't say that. I just need a little more time to analyze it, that's all. Interesting. It's a dynamic password lock. One that changes every 30 seconds. The only way to open this door is by using a terminal that has been synced up to the lock's password algorithm. I found out that the dynamic password changes according to the current server time and the number of times it's been accessed. Unfortunately, we still need the corresponding terminal to get through. Whoever can open this door holds a terminal linked to the dynamic password system. Both devices use the same algorithm, with the terminal's device code being a random number that determines whatever the algorithm spits out. Without that terminal, we can only guess at the password. Unfortunately, it looks like we only got 10 attempts.
Is this what you're looking for? Thanks to Federation intel, I was able to confront and subdue a high-ranking member of Blue Planet last night. He was the one who told me about this place, and this was his terminal. Unfortunately, it got severely damaged during our encounter.
It should do. Even though the terminal is busted, its data chip is still intact. Odie shouldn't have any problem extracting the data. The door is right in front of us. Cracking its encryption algorithm using the door itself is time-consuming, but not impossible, as long as I have the terminal device code and the 2 pieces of data I just obtained. Our only chance of failure is if I miscalculate a complex mathematical equation, or if I type in the wrong numbers because my hand is shaking. Got it.
That filing cabinet is full of Blue Planet's financial records and legal documents. Fascinating stuff, I'm sure. If only I had a degree in both finance and law to make sense of it all. There's also a safe behind the shelf. From my experience, organizations like this usually keep large bank deposit statements in these kinds of safes. I've already alerted the Federation, and our agents should be here any minute to shut this place down.
I'm working on decrypting an unreadable file on this computer. If I had to guess, it's probably a list of Blue Planet's high-level personnel. This must be what Agent Claudia's looking for, right?
Correct. The broken terminal belonged to a high-ranking Blue Planet member. In our interrogation, he confessed they only shared general knowledge about each other, with true identities kept secret. Based on his account, Blue Planet's senior members are leaders from various organizations. They wield significant wealth and connections, even placing spies within the Federation. I came here mainly to secure a list of Blue Planet affiliates. With that, I can quickly neutralize the threats to Secretary General Kieran's safety. Now, the file, please.
No. After all the trouble the Federation made for us, I think it's time for Wednesday to return the favor instead.
This isn't a game, Gray Fox. The Secretary General's safety is paramount, especially since Blue Planet may still pose a threat to the reality reshaping program.
I've done enough research on the aberrant situation, but this reality reshaping program, no one ever told me about it before. Guess that means I shouldn't worry about it too much, right?
How could you possibly think that?
I'm curious to know about it too. Why would you people choose to hide the existence of aberrants from everyone on Ida? Fine, take it. I'm not trying to stop you from saving the world or anything, you know? I just can't stand to see Kieran and the Federation doing whatever they want. Besides, I've already made a full copy of the data, so it doesn't matter if you tell me or not. Sooner or later, I'll know everything about your plans. Ugh, you and Ankh are like two peas in a pod. You've only been a member of Wednesday for a few days, but you've already picked up a bunch of her bad habits.
Vicar, Samaritan, erudite. Wait, Claire Foucault? That's the name of a high-ranking employee within the Tower of Fantasy. I work with her all the time. Thank you, Miss Grey Fox. This file is crucial to my investigation. With it, we should leave before we're discovered.
Wait! Your mission might be accomplished, but mine isn't yet. The person who sent that false communication isn't anywhere on this list. The other usernames in the chat room are all on this list, but not this so-called cleric. And before the chat room was deleted, I managed to see a strange image in the chat log. That image hasn't come up in any of the files I've seen so far. It's hard to explain. Basically, it's like a circle with a pair of hands protecting a tree inside of it. Which means this room is far from the only secret hidden in their headquarters. We must be missing something. But we've already come this far. You want to know who your enemy is, don't you? Because I'm positive we're getting closer to the truth behind Cleric and that strange image, as well as the source of that fake communication.
I can't do that. I'm under orders to protect you, remember? My top priority now is getting you to safety.
Then stop wasting time and help me look around. We may have missed an important clue somewhere, like a strange object of some kind. Take a look at this, researcher.
think you should take another look at this.
Barrett? Why does it feel like I've heard that name somewhere before?
In Erot's journal, it says that his daughter loved playing the piano.
A piano? There's definitely something strange about it. Look, there's an extra cable sticking out from the... Forget it. I shouldn't expect a researcher like you to understand pianos, I suppose. This is a bona fide Hadevice brand antique grand piano, worth at least 800,000 Norn, not just any run-of-the-mill keyboards. If my guess is right, that cable connects to some special devices, which means it has to be triggered by the piano itself. If his daughter really... This must be it, but I'll need some time to decipher it and confirm my hunch. Right now, though, I'm more intrigued by what's over there.
Are these containment? When the Federation first discovered the existence of aberrants, they were extremely small in number. As the aberrant tide swelled beyond control, These sophisticated vessels became an unsustainable luxury. The Federation had no choice but to explore other methods to control the rising threat of the aberrants.
Lucy Arrett. She was my classmate in piano lessons back in elementary school. One of my best friends back then. I knew it was her as soon as I saw her name in the diary, but I didn't realize she had already turned into one of those things. Why? Why? Asarada mentioned you can cure the aberrants. Can you help Lucy too? She doesn't deserve to be like this. She should be in school, not... Is there really no other way? There must be more aberrants on Ida. So does this mean those you can't cure in time are destined to remain like this forever? If something like this ever happens to Anka, or the boss, or...
The reality reshaping program is humanity's last hope. If it succeeds, we'll cure every last aberrant, and prevent any more of them from appearing ever again.
If that were the case, Blue Planet should be backing Kieran to the hilt. But from what you're saying, it seems like they're only trying to sabotage his efforts. I mean, does Arrett have no desire to save his own family?
Agent Claudia, we have received your coordinates and are sending a strike team to raid Blue Planet's headquarters. The operation will begin in exactly 10 minutes. For your safety, please evacuate the premises along with any of your allies.
Copy that, dispatch.
An ambush? But what about Lucy and the others?
Don't worry. Aberrants are still citizens of Ida. The strike team will follow containment guidelines and secure the aberrants until they can be cured by the reality reshaping program.
The reality reshaping program. Can I be a part of it too? If he doesn't give me his permission, then I'll find my own way to save my friends. Remember to tell him that for me. Thank you, Agent Claudia.
Don't mention it. Assisting researchers is part of my duty.
Agent Claudia, a message from Secretary General Kieran. Operation code SS7977.
Received. Thank you. Researcher, I need you to come with me to the Tower of Fantasy. Yes.
Good luck saving the world, you two. I'll head back and decrypt this hard drive. Oh, wait. The old man's still after me. Sorry, researcher, but it looks like your place is my new base of operations, so leave your keys with me.
We can all go together. The Tower of Fantasy is more than equipped to ensure your safety.
No way. If I use the gears there to decrypt this, I might as well hand over all my secrets on a silver platter. No thanks. I've learned my lesson. Unlike Anka, I don't keep repeating the same mistakes over and over. I'm only interested in joining the project to save Lucy, Anka, and the rest of my friends. It has nothing to do with wanting to serve the Federation or become one of its agents.
I understand. The Federation has safe houses ready in various locations to protect witnesses and exposed agents when necessary. They're perfectly safe and secure, and their contact with the Tower of Fantasy is kept at the lowest possible level to reduce the possibility of exposure.
Fine. I'll come along, but only because you helped me just now.
The address is...
I've already grabbed the safe house's location from your terminal, and it's definitely not on the way to the tower. I'm taking off now, but hey, good luck saving the world. Oh, and don't forget about our promise, researcher. Come on, Odie. Let's go see what Blue Planet is hiding from us.
Initiating follow mode.